Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday to you all. So, a lot has happened in the last couple of days in Nigeria, some good and some very, very bad. Like, the good thing is that the INEC chairman has been caught in a lie. He's an umpire in his own in his own match. So that's a good thing. I'm really, really grateful for people who are like going the extra mile to find things out, to call out, all the malpractices ongoing in the system and among the ruling party. But it's so sad to know that we lost another major, like a brigadier general in the army in the line of duty, and no one is angry. No one is, no one is saying anything. That's the second time, I think, within the last 6 months that a high-ranking officer doing his job has been murdered and nothing has happened. Nobody's angry. The government is not angry. Nobody is doing anything. It is a high-ranking officer in the military that stood and said that terrorists should be pardoned, that terrorists should be, they are our sons, they are our brothers, they should be integrated back into the society. They should be integrated, and they will be integrated into the military force, and they will continue to have access to intelligence. They will continue to have access to arms where they can be, just continue to be powerful to do and undo, thereby boosting the morale of the terrorists and demoralizing the military forces who stand on the line, put their life on the line to defend their country. It is sad and it's such a shame. People blame this woman, Kemi Badenoch, and say, oh, she's standing outside and throwing stones at her father's house. But Nigeria can do things to you sometimes that, you will swear never to have anything to do with the country anymore if you have the chance to escape. So you don't know what her story has been. So take for example the children of these two brigadier generals, for example, seeing how the country betrayed their father, who gave his life, served this nation faithfully, went through the ranks to attain such high ranks, such high position, and how they were killed as if they are chickens, as if, how will these children feel if they happen to leave the shores of Nigeria tomorrow and, they are in a position to talk or to speak? What do you think they will be saying about Nigeria? What do you think they will be saying? I remember that some time ago, I think it was around 2013, I had to go to the Nigerian embassy in London with a friend. She needed a document. And we got there, they had told us that you have to be there early, and all of that. So I think we had got there that day at 7 on the dot. And by this time, there were loads of people outside. That was my first time at the Nigerian embassy. There were loads of people outside, of course. There was no queue, our people. And then they opened the doors, but they still would not allow us in the cold winter. We all had to stand outside. We queued at some point, people started organizing and we had to queue, and people were queuing. The queue was almost, if you know the embassy, we're almost queuing. It was almost reaching Trafalgar. I swear it. People were almost queuing to that point. There was rain, there was cold, we were outside. But you know why we were outside? Because people who had power, who had money, they were going behind and driving from the other side and just going inside, and we were there. We were never able to get in on that day. And we were not dignified in any way. And people were passing and looking at us. in our own embassy, we were not allowed access inside. Okay, even if you could not attend to everybody, why could you not respect citizens and ask them to come in and sit down, considering the harsh weather? Now, fast forward to 2014 or 2015 now. A friend visited me from abroad for the first time. He has never visited Nigeria before. And he had to go to their embassy. He had to go to the Dutch embassy in Nigeria. So when we drove there, you know, all these area boys were there and they were asking 5,000 for parking, you know, ridiculous amounts. And he said, hey, I don't need to pay for parking. I can park in my embassy. Do you know where my embassy is? I said, of course. So we drove there. We got to the gates and, you know, the security guys asked, yes. And he said, I'm a Dutch citizen and I need to see the ambassador. And they asked for his passport. I kid you not. The moment he brought out that passport, the gate flung open. The gate flung open wide. And before we could finish parking within the premises, the ambassador was out, standing with us by the car. I led him in respectfully. They sat us down, they made us coffee and served us refreshments. Imagine what that did to me as a human being based on the experience I had at the Nigerian embassy the year before. So what is your life as a Nigerian worth? Only you can answer that question. Only you can say, enough is enough, my life is worth something. Only you can say, I must demand that respect. I must demand that dignity as a Nigerian. Only you can say enough is enough, enough to corruption, enough to criminals, taking power, snatching power, and running with it. Stand up for Nigeria. There is no other country anywhere. When you go to the east, to the west, to the north, to the south, home is still where you want to come back to. Is the Nigeria we have today, is that the Nigeria you will love to come back to? God bless you. Have a beautiful week.